Hi everyone, it's Eleanor here from the Professional Beauty Group. Welcome back to our PB World webinar today. Today's webinar is all about how businesses in hair, beauty and spa can implement sustainable practices into their businesses. And to help us with that, we have a brilliant panel lined up with us today. I'm really pleased to welcome Karine Jackson, salon owner and founder of Karine Jackson Sustainable Hair and Beauty. Kirsty Caniford, founder of Uniquely Organic Eco Spa in Sussex, and she's also a wellness business coach. Shanae Labrie, founder of Green Spa Africa, and Vikram Moham, founder of Bounce Salon. So welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, excited to be here.
It's brilliant to have you all.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you so much. It's brilliant to have you all here with us, and you'll have brilliant sustainable businesses. So I'm sure we're going to learn a lot out of this session. But I thought to start off with, we could all do a quick introduction for everyone. So I'm Eleanor from Professional Beauty Group. I'm a content writer, and I'm really excited to be hosting us today. But perhaps, Karine, would you like to start with your introduction?
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Karine Jackson. I'm owner of Karine Jackson Sustainable Hair. I'm really looking forward to talking to everyone today about what we can do as businesses, the small changes we can make to work towards better sustainability and climate change.
Amazing. And Shanae, how about you?
Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to join this group all the way from Africa. I am the founder of Green Spa Africa. We specialize in assisting spas and salons to implement sustainable business practices. And we've developed some really awesome tools to help them to get there, which includes the Green Spa Guide. We also have a specially focused course that we call the Sustainable Practitioner course, and also a really cool app, a mobile app that we call the Green Spa Calculator, that helps you understand how green you all can be. So yes, this is going to be a great discussion.
Amazing. And how about you, Kirsty?
Thank you so much for having me today. So I'm Kirsty Kiani-Fard. I am the founder and director of Uniquely Organic Eco Spa, which is an award-winning day spa in the heart of Brighton and Hove. I'm also the host of the top-ranking podcast, the Wellness Entrepreneur Podcast, and a wellness business coach. So yeah, when it comes to spa and salon, it's all I've ever done is sort of ethical and sustainable beauty and spa. So yeah, excited to be here. Really looking forward to this conversation. I think it's incredibly important.
Amazing. It's great to have you all here. And Vikram, last but not least, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, number one, lovely to be here with all you wonderful, sustainable salon and spa practitioners. Vikram Mohan here from India. I run a chain of salons. We just got into the sustainability game a few years ago, but I think you guys know a little bit about India. I don't know how much of you guys have visited India, but sustainability is not our priority over here. But we've tried to spearhead it and tried to be the first eco salon in India. And we truly believe in it. And I'm so excited to be here among these exceptional women who are doing wonderful things. And I'm here to learn and listen.
Amazing. I'm really excited to speak with you all. And for everyone watching, we will be heading into the Salon Business Forum lounge after this, where you can ask our panelists any questions you'd like about sustainability. So please do send in your questions and we'll get around to those in the lounge. But to start off, sustainability, it's becoming such a major part of businesses, and so many more business owners are wanting to implement sustainable practices into their business. First question from me, are you seeing a rise in clients who are looking for sustainable services, and how have you taken measures to make your business more sustainable? Karine, would you like to start on that one?
Thank you. Yeah, we've been working towards sustainability seriously for the last 10 years. And I think since the UN has put out the 17 SDGs, clients, and especially the clients that are coming into our salons, are more aware of what's wrong and what's right. And we've been promoting this work ethic for so long that they test us, so it's important for us to be on top of what we're talking about with sustainability. So yes, they know what ingredients are in the shampoos, where it's sourced, how far it's traveled. And I think if you're going to do this, don't be scared by it. Just take one step each day and learn something new each day about your business, but they definitely are more savvy than they've ever been.
Amazing. Shani, how about you?
Yes, no, absolutely. I've seen a rise in interest. I've been involved in this industry for 15 years, but specifically in the last 2 years, I've seen greater interest. I believe that has a lot to do with this pandemic. I think people have realized the importance of integrated health, the connection between me and the environment and me and other people. So definitely that has spurred it on. And yes, what I've also seen is where initially there was a lot of interest in water and energy conservation practices, which is really important. I see that expanding a little bit more into fair trade practices. I also see a lot of spas now being very interested in waste management. We don't often associate spas with waste, but we do generate a lot of hazardous waste in particular. So that has certainly also been upfront.
Amazing. And Kirsty, how about you?
I just echo everything you both just said. I was thinking back to when I first started out with the spa, and I remember doing training with my staff and saying there's two types of people. There'll be some people that come to us because of the organic stuff, because of the ethical stance of our business. But there'll also be people that come that don't actually care. They just want really good treatment. And that sort of balance was definitely erring on the side of people that weren't really that, or they sort of liked the idea, but didn't know too much about it. And you've seen a huge change in the last few years of clients actively asking. You know, it used to be us that was trying to educate, trying to explain, but now, yeah, you know, our reception team will be taking those sort of questions on a daily basis, asking about what's in the products, how we practice, what makes us ethical, everything. So absolutely, I think it's been a huge change, and I think the conversation even more so. I know we're going to get onto it, PPE and stuff. Yeah, I just echo that idea. I think we've become in the lockdown a lot more integrated with our natural environment, and so as we move into being able to do things again, I think there are going to be even more questions. So yes, we've definitely seen a huge change.
That's great to hear. And how about you, Vikram?
So I don't think I can add much more than what my friends have said. But the one thing that I can say is it's not easy to start going towards the more sustainable approach. But I think you have to feel it. You have to, truly understand that, the change has to start with you. And there is a starting point somewhere. And for everybody else who's listening to this particular Zoom chat, there are little things that you can do that can actually make you more sustainable, more environmentally friendly, more conscious about how you're running and operating your business. Easier said than done, especially in today's climate. But I hope if we can give any sort of positive information to anyone who's doubtful of how they can get a little bit more sustainable as to how to run their businesses, I think it'll be a very interactive and positive session.
Absolutely. And that brings me very nicely on to the next question, which was about the challenges that you've all faced when becoming a sustainable business. Can you share with us any challenges that you've come across? Maybe Kirsty, would you like to start?
So I'll jump straight in with the product side of things, which again has got so much better. But initially, it was really important to me that we could find professional grade products and product houses that understood treatment. So they were creating products not just that were high quality and that had amazing results, particularly skincare I'm talking about here, but that also we could create a full spa facial and that sort of thing with it. So yeah, that's been a huge problem for us. But then also looking at disposables and all that sort of stuff is trying to find products that maintain the quality. Because what you don't want is a customer coming into an ethical or sustainable place and walking away going, yeah, I like the principle, but ultimately I didn't get the same result. I wanted people to be able to walk out and feel like I couldn't notice the difference. You know, it's almost like, well, why wouldn't I? If there is a sustainable option, why wouldn't I go for it? So I think it's got better. I think there are some great brands out there, but that's the key one that I'll bring forward, is that I think the biggest challenge is finding the same quality, because after all, people are paying for a professional service. So you don't want them to feel that they're not getting, you know, what they're expecting ultimately.
That's really interesting. And Shanae, how about you? What challenges have you come across?
Two mainly. I'll go into some detail. The first one is around costs. There's a perception that it's really expensive to be sustainable, and admittedly, it is expensive to put in energy equipment. It is expensive to go off grid. It is expensive to put in water treatment plants. But with sustainability, you've got to look at things in the long term, and in the long term, those capital expenses will be set off by things like your operational costs, which will be less. So you'll be spending less on water, you'll be spending less on energy. But also because your employees prefer to work for greener companies. So you'll find that you have reduced costs when it comes to staff turnover because they want to be there. You will find that banks are willing to give preferential rates to green projects as well. So there are all these offsets that you need to take into account. And of course, what we shouldn't forget, there's a whole new green market out there. So if you can cater to that market, again, it will see a big rise in your bottom line. The other challenge is one around education. With the enormous interest that I've seen in sustainability, I also see that there are a lot of spa and salon owners who don't really know how to put it in practice. So we all know that that's what we have to do, but there's not enough tools out there to help them put it in place. How do I put a waste management practice in place? What do I need to do? So those are the two big challenges that I've come across.
Brilliant. And Karine, how about you? Oh, sorry, Karine, I think you might be on mute.
I always forget the mute. One of the things I tend to open with whenever I'm doing one of my seminars is there's 42,000 salons in the UK, creating 4.5 million tons of waste a year. So what I try and get salons to do is just to look at one thing you can change. And during lockdown, just to reopen again, I annihilated all the PPE. Someone touched on that. No plastic, no throwaway. It had to be compostable. And I worked with companies that developed a little mask for me, but we encouraged our clients to come in with, non-disposable masks, and they rose to it. So, oh, look, I've got my, my reusable mask on. So I think it's challenging your clients and your team in a fun way to think differently. And part of, being stuck in this pandemic, it's given me a lot of time to think about, right, what steps can we change? And on our team weekly Zoom meetings, I get them to engage with me about ideas of things that we can change. So it becomes all of our ideas. We all take ownership of it. And I think once you've got salons and clients taking ownership of it, if we all made one change, we would just be making such progress. So that's the stand that I go on. And you can do it affordably. Like Shanae said, you have to just actually initially invest, and then you will see the rewards at the end. So yeah,
absolutely, it's about taking those small steps, isn't it? And Vikram, how about you? What challenges have you come across?
So I think we live in a developing country, and comes with its own challenges. So when we opened our first eco salon, the first one I think in India, lots of people were like, wow, is this ever going to make money? What is this guy trying to do? But that was an experimental project. But what we learned from it, with all the measures that we took, is that we have close to about 40 plus stores. We could take little elements from all of that, because you just can't change everything immediately, right? Just little things from what we learned from the eco salon we implemented, just like single-use plastic was got rid of, the kind of detergents, all of that small stuff. Just, something as simple as, why do we need to have magazines? Just get a good Wi-Fi connection and everybody can log into it and, read whatever they want when they're at the salon. So, but biggest challenge has been educating our staff, because they need to communicate the same message to our customers that we are environmentally conscious, we're trying to be. And if there are a few inconveniences because of that, like you may not have a newspaper, or, we may be using single-use hemp cups to give you water, That's something that we have to deal with. So I think education is a key. But as everybody else on the panel said, these are tough times. I mean, right now we're all trying to just break even to the bank. So sustainability for sure in our company and from India has taken a bit of a backseat, but I'm sure we'll come back strong because we believe in it and we think that that's the only way to do it. You have to believe in it and you have to push it forward. So passion, I say passion for the environment is key.
I have something I'd love to add into there because, you know, one of the steps is getting your team and your clients engaged in it. One of the massive steps that we did was we put a little test in the salon just for fun, no names attached. And we collected all the color waste that we had for a week and it was astounding. And we did this about 8 years ago. But the statistics say 27% of color is wasted. It's washed down the sink. So, you know, for a salon, an average size salon, that's $3,000 a year. So just to deal with that there, firstly, you're saving money, but you're also saving so much environmental waste, you know, just getting washed down the sink. And it's a fun challenge. And there's a great companies out there now, one I'm working with Vish. So the team can see where they're going wrong and like, oh, okay, I don't want to be at the bottom of this wastage. And, you know, I'm seeing the profits from that and the reordering from that is a lot less, even though we're doing more. So I think that's a really great step for salon owners out there to take. Just watch your color waste.
Absolutely. That's a brilliant thing to have in the salon as well. And as you say, a lot of that with sustainable practices can go hand in hand with saving all those costs as well. I'd love to know for my next question, when you're looking for a supplier, say you're in your salon and you want to make your business more sustainable, when you're speaking with suppliers, what are the sort of key questions you should ask when you want to make sure that they're aligned with your sustainable values? Kirsty, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. I think the biggest thing for me is finding out about the brand, about the company. And you can hear everyone on this panel is really passionate about it. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing, because there are, unfortunately, so many brands that do it because it's becoming the thing. And I think if you understand why someone's done it, what they've got into it for, their brand sort of philosophy, and actually looking at, for me, it's about looking at those principles, say extend, I'm thinking about skincare again, extend just from the ingredients in the bottle so that they're really like those ethical practices are throughout their brand. So yeah, understanding the brand story, trying to find out what's made them sort of shift into that if they didn't used to be a sustainable brand, and making sure that they're a company that you can work with, because there is no perfect out there. So if you find those little gaps, those little loopholes, and you think, I think we could do this better, that you work with a brand that is passionate enough to be able to sort of work with you to find a solution. So that's mine, is finding out about the brand values and the brand story.
Brilliant advice. And Shana, how about you?
Well, I think as a start, you should look at developing a sustainable procurement policy, because it sets standards and everybody adheres to the same standards, and it has a questionnaire attached to it. So that is what you're going to send out to all your suppliers, and you make sure that they all comply. But some of the important questions that I think we should ask them is whether their products contain recycled material and if the product itself can be recycled. I think we need to ask whether their product has an Energy Star rating, for example, as well. I think it's very important when we work with skincare products that you ask them specifically whether the product contains any harmful ingredients and what steps have they taken to reduce the packaging associated with their product. I think that is one area where the wellness industry really has a lot of work to do, and it's around packaging of the skincare products. So those are some of the questions that I would suggest one starts asking.
Amazing. And Vikram, how about you?
So for me, it was actually reverse engineering, because I always thought that my industry, the salon industry, we're not actually really destroying the environment, right? But I was so wrong, because I was so naive. I didn't understand that we are actually contributing to so much of the pollution and all of this environmental waste that's going on. So for me, it was reverse engineering when I met David Bellotti of Davines. This is not a plug. They're not paying me for this. But when I met them, so I would say, meeting him, understanding the company, going to Parma, understanding that these guys are very, very serious about what they want to do. And of course, the products also speak for themselves, because at the end of the day, if you go sustainable and the products don't work, then at the end of the day, it doesn't really make any sort of difference. So I would say, find the brand, do your research. If you can, go out there, figure it out, meet them, understand the people behind it, because passion speaks louder than words. So if you can figure that out, I think you're on the right track. So it's a very important question. Yeah, thank you.
And Karine, how about you?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be working with Organic Colour Systems for the last 15 years, and they've worked with me over these 15 years. They were already organic. It was right when low carbon footprint was in, so it's produced in the UK. So for me, that's important. Their packaging is 100% recycled and 100% recyclable, although we can now send it back to them, and they sell in larger bottles. Everything that arrives that it's all compostable, it can all break down. Look for B Corp, and look at what, if they're going to take on your ideas as well. And I love working with companies that will listen to what we need and will work with you and develop. And, Organic Colour System, I know Davines really well. They're another great company that will work with you and accept your questions and help you do the changes. So, the key things I'd be looking for if you're looking to change: what's it made from, what's the ingredients made from, what's the packaging made from, are they interested in the world, like B Corp, fair trade, and will they listen to you? I think they're all key points when we're looking for brands in the salon.
Brilliant advice. And my next question, which I know we touched a bit on earlier, was about PPE. As we all know, the world has completely turned upside down since the pandemic began, and it's really changed the way that we're operating in our businesses in the usage of PPE. I'd be interested to know how you've navigated that from a sustainable perspective. Perhaps Shani, would you like to start on that one?
I want to start by giving some statistics. And when we talk about PPE, we don't just talk about masks and gloves. We also talk about the sanitizers and the bottles where we, in which the sanitizers are placed. In addition to that, when we all know that there's been a substantial increase in PPE, but there's also been an increase in packaging associated with online purchases. So there's an enormous 500% increase in the last 2 years in the waste that we generate. And what makes it more frightening is that that waste is not being recycled, because a lot of recyclers have closed down during the pandemic. Now, if we talk about a 500% increase in waste, we're talking about taking that little bin at your desk and replacing it with a wheelie bin. That is 500%. It is shocking. So what we are suggesting to our clients is that they should not go for disposables at all. Karine, it is something that you mentioned as well. So use reusable masks. They are just as safe as the others, and make sure that you follow good hygienic practices. When we talk about our sanitizers, make sure that the sanitizers are eco-friendly, the chemicals inside are eco-friendly, that they don't contain nanoplastics, for example. Make sure that your container is a recycled container. Make sure that you buy in bulk. And then when you dispose of your PPE, make sure that you dispose of it responsibly, because it's considered hazardous waste.
Amazing advice. And Karine, what would you like to add to that?
I think PPE was a big issue for me when we came out of our first lockdown. I spent a lot of time researching it. And like Shanae said, the waste that's going on now, my sister's a nurse in a hospital, and, she tells me what goes on in there. And I think, we all need to look at better ways of doing it and think outside the box. I'm fortunate enough that the colour company Organic Colour Systems produced a sanitizer for us. We looked at how we were going to keep our brushes and our combs clean without bringing in more plastic, or we don't bring in any plastic into the salon. So I think it's just being a bit creative with it, and thinking about what you can reuse. This whole throwaway society, we've got to stop thinking like this. We've got to stop thinking it's okay, and just question companies on why you're doing it. I will send back excess packaging now, and simple things like our tissues. It's a great company who gives a crap, and they had a little plastic film in there that they said was compostable. I was like, do you even need it? It doesn't come with that anymore. And I'm really proud that we just question, nobody's perfect. And sometimes a client will say to me, do you really need that? And I think, God, no, I hadn't thought of that. So I'm open to listening and I'm open to questioning. And I think that's what we should be doing with all the companies and all the PP we're using. It's how we're using it and why.
Amazing. And Vikram, how about you?
So I think we operate on a slightly larger format, and it's been very challenging because people are really fearful of coming to salons, and we've done our best in terms of protecting ourselves and our customers. But PP is something that today is essential. It's an essential item, but it's what kind of PP. So, for example, we use disposable towels, which are made of hemp. So little things that really make a difference. But with all due honesty, we're in the middle of the pandemic, large country, huge population, but we're proud to say that because of our safety measures, we're getting more new customers than we did last year. So sustainability is one thing, but with all due respect, I need to sustain. My business needs to sustain. And as much as I love the planet, if I'm not there, then what's the use of the planet? So we're doing our best. We don't have any structured method as of now. We're all confused in India, all the top salon brands, as to how we can make it better. We're just hoping all of this ends. But having said that, the local municipal governments are doing their bit to make sure the PPE has been split into the masks and the bio waste versus the regular waste and the dry waste. So they've started doing stuff like that, which we really appreciate. But having said all of that, we're living in difficult times, very pressing times. So that's where we are.
Absolutely, we are living in really challenging times. And Kirsty, how about you? How have you navigated it in your business?
I think it's important to have really honest conversations around this. I think a lot of people be anxious about the enormous amount of PPE that they're going to be using. And I think all of the points that everyone's brought forward are really important to think about. I think it will become easier. I wonder if it will ever be phased out. I think there'll be things that stick around a lot longer. And so I think, much like we've seen in the sort of sustainability space, that the more demand there is for ways of introducing PP that are more sustainable and ethical. So I think, again, asking questions, sort of pushing back a little bit if your supplier is only able to offer one type of thing. We've done something quite nice, which we can do as a local spa, teaming up with some local creators that have created some handmade reusable masks and getting them into our shop so they can sell them in there. So we're sort of helping them and local economy, but also it's something for our clients to purchase rather than bringing in their disposables or us giving them a disposable. So yeah, we're looking at lots of ways that we can reach into the community and sort of help each other in offering alternatives. But I hope that it will be something that becomes a lot easier for people to access in a more sustainable way.
Amazing. And we are coming towards the end of the session now, but if you do have any questions for our panel, please do send them in, and we'll be all joining the lounge in about a couple of minutes' time. But final question from me, if you could share some quick, simple tips that salon owners, business owners can implement easily, what would you advise? Vikram, would you like to start on that one?
Yeah, for sure. Like simple stuff like just change your lighting in your salon, like switch to LED, like really low conservation LED. You can use water saving nozzles, just buy them off the net, available on Amazon. Switch all your, in fact, you can get it switched on even on your hair washing units. Paperless billing, use composting bags. I don't know, there's just so many little things that you can actually do. Just get rid of all these single-use plastics in your salons. No customer really needs a bag to take their products home. If they really want a bag, charge them for it. If they feel the pain. I would say, yeah, just paperless billing, hand dryers in your toilet, lights that switch off when you shut the space. And more than anything, you're just educating your staff on not wasting. Like, let's not waste. No one gains anything out of wasting. So I would say education is probably the number one.
Amazing. Sade, how about you? What advice would you give to those watching?
Well, I love structure. So I think as a starting point, get a sustainability team in your spa and salon. Appoint someone or two people who can take charge of this. I'm always very worried with once-off projects because they tend to stay once-off projects. So appoint a team and tell them to get going with long-term solutions. And then, yes, I agree absolutely, Vikram. Let's go paperless. It costs you nothing. In fact, you'll save the expensive printing costs around your very expensive treatment menu and your price list. So go paperless, go for QR codes, have paperless billing systems set up. That's really very easy to do. I always would suggest go local. I mean, have at least one local product in your salon and have at least one organic line in your salon and spa as well.
Amazing. And Karine, how would you, what advice would you give?
Well, I would say you need to get your team on board. So get everyone to put ideas into the structure. I love structure as well. So get everyone to put ideas in and make your sustainable changes a team effort. The first thing you can look at in the hairdressing world is your product waste. Look at how much color you're throwing down the drain, and you'll find you will save a lot of money there. Again, just echoing the words, go paperless. There's so many little things. And if you get your team on board to come up with the ideas, they've all bought into the idea and it becomes one collective. And I think that's a really easy way to start. Don't try and do everything all at once. Baby steps, and we can make changes.
Absolutely. Vikram, did you have something to add to that?
I just want to add, when it comes to team, just even getting them to carpool, if three of you guys are living in the same area, come in the same cab or come together. This is, I think, a small little way that you can add to the bigger goal.
Absolutely. And Kirsten, have you got any final words on that?
Yeah, I just love all of that. And I think getting everyone involved is absolutely key. It's accountability. Like, once you've said and made that commitment and got people on board, you've got to maintain that standard. And so we go even further and we'll get our customers on board. So if we've got a sticky point, like if we're thinking that we want to get rid of this in the spa, but we're looking for new ideas, then we'll sort of client source it. And we've created some of the most amazing collaborations that way. Echo everything else everyone said. And the last thing just to think about is like upcycled furniture. We have some of the most interesting pieces in the spa that people will talk about. And luckily we have an incredible, again, local upcycler, and, go to those places first. If you need something, rather than just going to the usual sort of outlets, try and find something, and it'll be super unique. It will stand out, but also have a story that you can share with your community. So yeah.
Amazing. And that brings us to the end of our panel discussion here, but we will be continuing the conversation in the lounge. So please do come and join us there, where we'll be going through your questions, and please do send some in if you have any burning ones for our panelists. But thank you everyone for your time today. It's been brilliant speaking with you all, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you in the lounge in a moment.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lovely being part of this.
Yeah.
Let's make the change.
Absolutely.